going to give you a look at the 1010D. The other day we brought it in, and something in this engine was just ding, 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 making all kinds of racket. Then it would go away. Then it would make racket again. Go away, make some racket. So the guys, we were looking in the fan, making sure there was nothing there, clinking around, something broke off, the plastic fins, whatever. And they started taking apart. They took the pipe off the turbo to check it, see if there was anything in the exhaust pipe, because sometimes mufflers come apart. Well, this one doesn't have a muffler. And I walked over here like a smart ass, and I looked at it while it was running, and they're all staring at it, trying to figure it out, and you could just hear this subtle just ting, 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 ting. You know, and we put this engine in for them last year, a replacement engine. And, you know, it always concerns us when stuff like that happens, and we're sitting here looking at it, but I'm going to show you what we found. I just looked at it, and right here the alternator was just it was almost like a harmonic distortion, just vibrating and vibrating, and then it would stop, and then vibrating and stop, vibrating. Well, here's what the culprit is. Alternator. See, the hole is all egg-shaped. When you tighten the bolt down, that pin pushes into it, and it's supposed to tighten it up and hold it in center, and didn't do it. Or it did, or whatever happened, it came loose, and so we had to order a new alternator because the housing is basically no good. Now, here's the one thing I'm going to just say. This alternator was almost $1,300. Come on, John Deere. I know you got overhead, but Jesus. $1,300 for an alternator, 12 something, 1268. Yeah. There's a reason we go after looking for numbers in this business on behalf of the customer. Right there's the Bosch number. We looked it up at the local auto dealer, and they could get one, but they didn't have any in stock in the factory in the US, so basically we had to buy it from John Deere. Yeah, and if it wasn't that even our rebuilder guy could get this casting and rebuild it, even though there was nothing wrong with it, for a couple $100, but he has to wait to order that piece. We researched these avenues because I hate to give away money like that for the customer on their behalf for a freaking alternator. All right, I'll shut up about that. It's just one of those things that kind of ticks me off. That's why I say sometimes, well, before you buy your machines, price compare things. I don't know, pick out a cylinder. Maybe I said that the other day. Pick out a cylinder on a John Deere, and then one on a Ponzi, and one on a Valmet, and whatever else you're going to buy. The same cylinder off every crane or something like that, and go compare them. Call them dealers up and say, hey, you can price shop, because in the long run it's going to cost you less for parts. That's just my opinion. Now, I do a lot of John Deere, but anyways, so here we are, basically the same thing. We're oil change, engine oil change, cab air filters. I'm going through the AC on all three of these. Hoses, we're looking for hoses while it's here. Crane table, or the crane base, transmission. This particular one, when I told you on an earlier video that he got sprayed in the face with oil, was the differential on the rear of this one. And it turns out that we use a porta power to check the brakes. The diff was full of hydraulic oil, the rear diff. And this happened a couple of years ago on this machine, and we replaced the one brake actuator, whatever you call it. So we put the porta power on it, took it out, tested it, and one was leaking down, and then it leaks the oil into the diff. So we've got that already replaced. Troy's doing a little bit of welding up here on the bunks, the headache rack, the swing brake on the grapple, the friction brake to keep the grapple kind of not from flopping like a tuna. That's getting replaced. It's just everything else, 80, 90s, planetaries, routine maintenance, get them all spiffed up in a couple days. Well, this one's gonna go back to work right away. But that's what we do with that one. Just get everything we can done. So it's ready to go, less downtime in the woods. Also what we do on every machine that comes in here, just by the way, I forgot on the other one. I'll show you. Center sections. You know, this one doesn't have an auto greaser. You gotta go by that. When it's coming off the trailer outside, or when I teach my guys, we do a lot of things. We take the boom outside, we swing it off to the side, we check the bogey bearings, we do all kinds of stuff like that, trying to prevent future problems. And I also make them put the blade down and have a guy watch the pins here in the center. And 9 times out of 10, we need maybe 1/8 of a turn on that nut. We got to keep that tight. That goes for any brand of machine. Keep that tight. You wear that out, you're out a lot of money. Nobody wants to have that line board. Just keep that tight. And if it gets loose and you can't do anything with it, and the bushings are wore out or collapsed, replace them. You don't want to get them bores all messed up and egg shaped, because you do not want to take that to have that welded up. So, I think the other thing is he's got some tube lines that are all screwed up on here from getting hit, but we're going to replace them or straighten them out, whatever, do the best we can. So that's what we're doing on this guy. All right, see you later.